One type of renewable energy system, solar photovoltaic systems or solar power systems, employs PV modules to convert sunlight into electricity. One or more other electricity generators or additional renewable energy sources may be coupled with the generated electricity, or it may be stored, utilized immediately, fed back into the grid, or all of the above. A solar PV system is a very dependable and healthy source of electricity that may be used for a variety of purposes, including residential, commercial, agricultural, and animal uses. A house has the following electrical appliance usage. 118-watt fluorescent lamp with electronic ballast is used 4 hours per day. 160-watt fan is used for 2 hours per day. 175-watt refrigerator that runs 24 hours per day with a compressor running 12 hours and off 12 hours. The system will be powered by a 12 VDC 110 WP PV module. Calculate the total watt-hours per day for each appliance used. The first stage in constructing a solar PV system is to determine the overall power and energy consumption of all loads that the system must supply. To determine the total daily watt-hours that must be given to the appliances, add the collective watt-hours required by each appliance. Calculate the total watt-hours per day needed from the PV modules. The total watt-hours per day that must be supplied by the panels is calculated by multiplying all of the appliances' watt-hours per day by 1.3, the amount of energy wasted in the system. Different PV module sizes will generate varying quantities of power. The entire peak watt produced must be known in order to determine the PV module size. The peak watt, WP, generated is influenced by the site's environment and PV module size. The panel generation factor, which varies according to the site location, must be taken into account. The panel generation factor for Thailand is 3.43. To find the size of PV modules, use the following calculation. Divide the total watt-hours per day needed from the PV modules by 3.43 to get the total watt peak rating needed for the PV panels needed to operate the appliances. Divide the answer obtained by the rated output watt peak of the PV modules available to you. Increase any fractional part of the result to the next highest full number, and that will be the number of PV modules required. Inverter sizing. The total watts of all appliances equals 18 plus 60 plus 75 is equal to 153 watts. For safety, the inverter should be considered 25 to 30% bigger in size. The inverter size should be about 190 watts or greater. Battery sizing. Total appliances used will equal to 18 watts multiplied by 4 hours plus 60 watts multiplied by 2 hours plus 75 watts multiplied by 12 hours. Nominal battery voltage equals 12 volts. Days of autonomy equals 3 days. Battery capacity equals 18 watts multiplied by 4 hours plus 60 watts multiplied by 2 hours plus 75 watts multiplied by 12 hours, then the result is multiplied by 3. The overall result will be divided by 0.85 times 0.6 times 12. The battery should be rated at 12 volts, 600 ampere-hours for a 3 days autonomy due to the total ampere-hours required being 535.29 ampere-hours. Solar charge controller sizing. Amperage and voltage capacity are frequently used to rate solar charge controllers. Determine which type of solar charge controller is best for your application after choosing the solar charge controller to match the voltage of the PV array and batteries. Inspect the solar charge controller to make sure it has enough power to handle the current coming from the PV array. Standard procedure dictates that the solar charge controller be sized by multiplying the PV array's short circuit current (ISC) by 1.3